I called up one of my attorneys the other day. I've known this guy for a long time, and I started asking him some very basic questions. He said, Andrew, I always love talking to you. I love hearing your stories. It's a breath of fresh air from these guys who are all running, meat packing factories here where I'm based. But I got to ask you, I think we've discussed this stuff before. Why are you asking me these questions? I'm going to tell you why I asked him these questions, and I'm going to tell you the bigger principle that I think every entrepreneur should know. Hey, it's Andrew Henderson, and this video could be called Why I Pay a Lot of Money to Ask People Dumb Questions. It's the truth. I am a conservative person by nature. Some people have called me the goody two-shoes of the offshore business because I like to play it straight. I think being conservative is important. Doesn't mean we can't be a little aggressive sometimes. Doesn't mean we can't find legal loopholes. Doesn't mean we're just going to sit there and take whatever someone throws at us, but I like to make sure I'm doing things properly. I like to protect myself rather than going out and taking risks when I could have had protection against those risks. And so the reason that I call people, that I consult people, that I ask the same question twice or three times, that I call and talk to lawyers, that I double check things is what I call the success tax. You've probably seen this. If you go and look through all kinds of comments sections and review boards and everything else, you'll see a lot of people who are just throwing a lot of bombs out there. Everyone's a jerk, everything's a scam, all kinds of nasty words for people. What's interesting to me about the internet is that it really has leveled the playing field where winners can finally be attacked by people who aren't winners. It used to be if you were a winner, you just were shielded. Now there's a forum for everyone who wishes they were a winner to attack winners. And I'm totally cool with that, but understand that the people who are posting comments from their mother's basement, who are calling everybody a scam artist, that guy can't possibly make any money, nobody's making any money, only I make money. The reason that people can say certain things, the reason that people can, get angry at a restaurant and then go and leave a bad review about how they got food poisoning, even though they didn't, they just want to be vengeful. The reason they can do that is because they do not have to pay the success tax. You see, if you have nothing to lose, you don't have to worry. Right? Is anyone sitting around, calling their lawyer? Hey, listen, Jack, just got bumped up to $13 an hour. Hey, question, what are my litigation risks if I post a false food poisoning review on Yelp? No one's doing that. Yet, the guys who I've worked with who have, $100 million, they're much more intense than I am about calling and just asking for very simple things. Why? Because they want to make sure they don't get into any trouble. Someone looking at the way that our company operates and the way that I personally operate might say, wow, Andrew and Nomad Capitalist waste money. We could cut out some of these calls. We could cut out some of these tax memorandums. We could just, get rid of some of this advice, and Andrew could just go out and just do certain things, just figuring that nothing bad will happen. But really, what's interesting is the first time I met with a guy who had a $100 million business, this is going back a couple years now, $100 million business, it was so funny because he was so intense on the way he followed his tax strategy. While some people are just 183 days, all right, I'll get it close. He was like, no, it's 60 days, it's no more, don't be 61, we're getting out of here. We are playing it to the letter. I have the thing, I talked to Bob and Tom and Pete, and we are out. A guy recently came to us, pretty successful guy, and said, listen, Andrew, I know that you make plans for people. He said, I just want you to review my plan. I want you to take a look at what I'm already doing and, find the blind spots. And what's interesting is we found a lot of blind spots, actually. We basically had to go just to, what I do, which is making a plan, because I'm like, this probably won't work, that's wrong, that you're paying too much for. And we ended up turning it into a plan. But his thing was, you know what? Let me just double check, because I have the money to do so, and I don't want to make a mistake. If you have $10 million, a 1% mistake costs a lot more. If you have $10 million or $100 million or $1 billion, you also know not everything that you read is accurate. What's interesting is, what's fascinating to me is watching people who are just getting started saying, I'm just going to get all my tax advice from a forum on the internet. Because why? They have nothing to lose, not only because they don't have that much actually to lose, but because they don't know what losing looks like yet. The guy who has $100 million has had run-ins. He's had people who have tried to sue him. He's had the government breathing down his neck. He's had the tax man send him a letter. He knows what losing looks like, or he's been scared with what losing looks like. You know, he had a brush where he had to fight like a really aggressive audit, and he came out of it unscathed, but it was really intense, and he doesn't want to go back there. So for me, this is a really important thing to understand, especially if you're just starting out. You know, success tax is something that you can pay if you're just starting out, but people who are successful at a high level always pay it. This is where some of the offshore strategies we talk about really come into place. Some people will call us and say, Andrew, I want to live in the United States. I love it here. My family's here. I'm doing fine. You know, I got plenty of money. I don't need to save money on taxes and my investments. But you know what I want? I want a second passport. Because if you've got 20 million bucks, spending 100 grand or 200 grand on passports for your family is that plan B just in case. It's like buying an umbrella insurance policy. It's like buying car insurance for the car. Let's just make sure we're covered. It's the price of success. Now, obviously, if you have $500,000, you shouldn't go out and take $200,000 in most cases and just go buy passports in an island country. You don't have that much to protect unless you're some kind of crypto trader and that $500,000 is going to be 10 million tomorrow. So obviously, these things have to be measured. So I think it's really important to understand how to act like someone who has seen things go wrong. How to act as if you're being conservative as a way to aggressively grow wealth. And how to protect yourself once you get there to make sure you can hold on to it by making simple, small, plan B bets to make sure you've got all of your bases covered. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes, build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6- or 7-figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.